Hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome to Harness the Shift, a gathering place for souls awakening to their higher purpose. Here, we explore the spaces between healing and activation, between breaking cycles and building a new blueprint. This is where real transformation happens, where you remember who you are, reclaim your power, and learn to navigate this spiritual shift with clarity, courage, and grace. Together, we rise, rooted in light and rewired for the return. Hey. All right, folks, we're dialing this down. So, in the last podcast, I was talking about I'm not for everybody. And I'm not here for fame. I'm not here for followers. I'm here to manifest a higher blueprint. I'm here to have these retreats that dial the nervous system down, where people can come and be with like-minded souls that are doing the work, that want to be enriched with others' wisdom and maybe apply it to their life. And, these holistic, soul-centered clinics, wellness, and really getting into, I worked in big pharma for 23 years. Big pharma, clinical research, it's the same damn thing. I worked in I had experience in oncology, which is that's just too much. I could be here. That could be a podcast in itself. Oncology, and I've done medical device. I've done IVD. I've done, I've done a couple of pharma trials when I first started out, but you start to realize that that's not moving the needle for humanity. And so my vision is to do this and to have these holistic clinics where we can help people heal. And so that's a lot of the reason why I do the X39. And I've been on the X39 patch for 6 months now. And I tell you, I feel a lot better than I did 6 months ago. I would get up in the morning and was so hard to move. And, every now and again, I'll have days like that depending on what I eat. If I eat something I shouldn't eat, it affects my joints. But so something that has come to me is, for those that are doing the work, write it down. Whatever you envision, you write it down, and you pray on it, and you start to act like it's already happening, and then it manifests itself. And then you see your synchronicities that confirm the alignment, and you're on track. And the more that you can come in and you can focus and not be distracted by all of this going on, right? And that's mainly kind of why I stepped away from dealing with what's going on in the matrix. Not saying that I don't look at it, because I want to be informed. I want to know what's going on. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with folks that are on their spiritual journey, checking in, and seeing what's going on, and having a perspective on it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think that, I think if you can get sucked back into, you need to be very mindful. Absolutely. But I don't think that it lowers your vibrations and all this other that comes from the spiritual community. Oh, don't watch that. And, don't talk about that. And, oh, it's all an illusion. Yeah, it is an illusion, but it's also happening. It's very strange. It's a very strange concept. A lot of it is an illusion, what we see on the television, and really all that you really know is what you have in front of you locally, right? I live in Portland, all the stuff going down at the Portland thing. I'm sure there's things down there that are probably staged, sure, but they're down there and they are causing issues. So, and that's the color revolution type tactics that I was talking about in the earlier podcast with regard to the Balkans. And you may have heard, like, I think her name is she's a journalist. She's talks about it. She's talked about it before. She's from South Africa. I can't remember her name. Laura something. She's talked about the whole color revolution thing going on. And so really what we're being called, those that have done the work, those that are tapping into the blueprint, is really what we're here is to elevate humanity, to hold the vibe, right? Hold the vibe, to support activations when people start to wake up, to support them, to be there for them, to welcome them with open arms, and to not judge them because it's not their fault that they've been programmed. Some folks have been really, really, really programmed, and they're hanging on to it, and I think that's another reason why this has taken so long. And that's another thing that I observed, that I'm like, wow, they've done a number on humanity. And so, our purpose is to share the knowledge, right? And you're going to have the naysayers. You're going to have folks out here that just want to, call you this and call you that. Just don't even waste your time. Like, just don't even engage with these people. I wish I would have done that a long time ago. I probably would have been a lot better off had I listened to that advice. It takes a special finesse to be able to watch what's going on in this matrix and decipher it and not get sucked into it. It really is. But yeah, we're being called to create this, this infrastructure for multi-dimensional living, and it's coming. So everyone is a student. Excuse me. Everyone's a student. Everyone is a teacher. There are anchors. There are people that are serving as anchors. They're anchoring in the vibe, right? They're holding the vibe. They're all up in the love, patience, kindness. They're anchoring in. There's folks that are compasses that are going to be walking people through the process. They're bridges, right? They're going over there in the chaos, and they're saying, okay, here, this is the sitch. And then you have people that are mirrors. And they're mirroring, which sometimes mirror can trigger us, which triggers are actually an opportunity for us to ask some questions like, why am I getting upset? Why am I getting triggered by this person? Instead of reacting, to be in the present so much that we can say, okay, why is this causing me? Why is this causing me to be triggered? And then looking at that and being honest with ourselves as to why and where is that, and really digging to, hey, maybe it's when you were younger and something happened and it's related to that, right? And bringing that to the surface and walking it to the surface, that darkness into the light, and then alchemizing it. When we're healing and we're in the present, there is activation. When we're healing and we're in the present, there's an activation, and we have the ability to teach when we get to the point where we're activated. We have the ability to teach and understand without judgment. And this is when you know, like, you're truly vibing with Jesus, when you can look at something and not judge someone for it and say, I understand why that person is doing XYZ. You know, I look at people that don't like me. Some of these folks are my family members, and they don't like me. They might be my adversaries. Yeah, I believe adversaries do exist. Are they enemies? No, absolutely not. But in spiritual warfare, they may be spiritual obstacles, excuse me, or a contrast to growth. Because if we didn't have it, we wouldn't realize, well, wow, how much I've grown, right? My personal stance on all of this is like, people don't get it because, people don't understand. I've been over here for the last 8 months, really, truly fighting for my soul. I had people that literally came after me and were trying to set me up at work, saying that I was fraudulently verifying data, which it made no sense because I have to have over the shoulder access with the study coordinator. So how am I verifying data that fraudulently, if that's the case? And literally trying to set me up, that I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm out of here. Because it was starting to already look like a toxic work environment. And there's a lot of that going on. And that's all the corporate structure. And that is the way that it is. And I know I'm not the only one that's been forced out of a job. And I am not meant to go back into big pharma. That's why I haven't been able to find another job, because that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be doing my life's work. And this is part of my life's work. So this is something that I take seriously. I'm here to help people that want the help. I'm not for everybody. I've said this over and over again throughout this podcast because it's true. Not everybody wants to do the work. And I think we have to be honest with ourselves that, it may be that they're not ready. It's just, you can't be the end all be all to everyone. And so with that, I've gone and I've had some, revelations myself, and I'm breaking some patterns and behaviors, and with that, people aren't going to like it. And I'm trying to reclaim my power and stand at God's table in the presence of these adversaries, we'll say. Because there's going to come a day that it will be built. It's about energy sovereignty now, right? Where I can walk into a room and just be like, nah, I don't want to be in here. Or I might say, I'm going to go eat at this restaurant, and I walk in there and I don't like the energy. Or I might be over. I trust those things. I'm big on not being around bad juju, because then it's like, if I'm around it too much, there's only so much that you can do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's all about protecting your energy and being present, owning your energy and healing and knowing, that it's okay. It's okay not to be liked. Not everybody's going to like me. I get that. And that's fine. But what we're not going to have, there will be boundaries. What we're not going to have is the disrespect anymore. That's where I'm at. I'm just not doing it. So if you tell me in your behavior that you really don't like me, then I'm going to remove myself. And that's just the way it's going to be. Because, I'm learning to open my voice and to speak my truth and to build my vision and to step into this process despite not having a cheerleader, not having anybody cheering me on. Because I know. And so I know that there's folks out there that are going through this. This is why I'm sharing this, because we have had this split. And this is what Harness the Shift is all about, because there is a shift. There is a shift for a lot of us, and it's a painful shift. And it's not saying that it's forever, but it is for now. And I truly believe that God, moves people in and out and aligns things because he was in rooms that you weren't in. And he heard conversations that you didn't hear. And it's all about stepping into that higher frequency of love, patience, kindness, and understanding. When you can love another soul unconditionally, you can be like, you know what, I'm not going to judge you because I understand why you are the way that you are. I'm going to hold compassion. I'm going to hold a space for you, and I'm going to have compassion for you because I understand, because I've been there. I've been there before. And so, yeah, that's what it's all about. This journey has not been easy. The last 2 weeks have been very hard. And even with that, I encourage you to keep going, because not every day is going to be easy in this journey, in this path. But I don't know. I close my eyes and I see my vision, and I see it. I see everything that I want bring about, because the Spirit has called me to do that, right? And I know that if I'm envisioning it and I'm putting it to paper and I'm moving forward with it step by step by step, that when it's go time, baby. Let's do this, So I just encourage you to, step in. If you're not going to do it, you might as well do it. You're already awake. Stepping in to do the work means you're not deferring it to another incarnation, right? And activate that blueprint, and let's get this going. Let's work, but work from not a standpoint of I'm a slave and I gotta do planes, trains, and automobiles for the rest of my life, but work towards the ability to do what you love, make a living doing what you love and what your soul's purpose is, and to inspire people along the way. That's really what it's all about. So, if you're listening and you've been listening, this is the third podcast. It's your invitation. It's your invitation to be present, to own your energy, to heal your patterns, to speak your truth, to build your vision, to write your vision down, to step into your purpose. And we're doing this together. What I'm doing might be different from somebody else's blueprint, but I guarantee there are people that have the blueprint. And it's all about, rooting ourselves, getting rooted, grounded in the earth, because we're electrical beings. And when we ground, we calm it all down, the ions, negative ions, positive ions. There's a lot of information out there about grounding. Trust the science. And quantum physics, and this is really what it's about, is rewiring ourselves, deprogramming, questioning our programming, and rewiring ourselves. And if I can step away from negativity in my life that I've created in my life, I used to be a very negative person, boozing it up. And if I can step away, and I can have an occasional beer if I want to, I don't need it. But if I want to, I'm doing it from intention. I'm not doing it from a place of I need to escape, or I need to, stifle emotions, or I can't handle reality. I don't do that anymore. And I think it's a good thing. We should be able to enjoy our lives and not, obviously we need to eat well and things like that. But, sometimes we're not perfect, and that's okay. So that's a little bit about me, folks. I'm an open book. If there's anything that you want to know about the things that I've talked about, it's just kind of a glazing of over the surface. I've had an amazing life. I've been all over the world. I've met some really amazing people in my life, and I'm truly grateful for this experience. And I'm glad that I got the tap on the shoulder to do the work and to awaken, because what I envision coming is really going to, I think a lot of folks are going to be surprised at what comes, and it's all good. It's all good. So thank you so much for tuning in, and let's see where this goes. I'm starting to line up some guests, so I'll have people on to talk about their journeys and their experiences. I've shared a little bit of the challenges that I've had. I've lost both parents, so grief, physical abuse, getting caught up in feminism, which is an ism, back in the day. And just being present. Sometimes it's just nice to just take a deep breath and be like, thank you, right? And not go all the time. We're not meant to be going and going and going. So take care of yourselves in this journey. Make sure you're hydrating. I'm going to play a commercial for LifeWave. So If you're interested in that, book a one-on-one. It's free. You and I can talk, and let's see if we can help you, because I know 80-year-olds that are playing golf again. Like, it's changing lives. And I know some of y'all are waiting on med beds, but you can use both of these. The patch works when you're not in the med bed. So it's a consistent thing. And activation of them STEMIs and all of that. So book a call. It's on my Hoobie link. You'll see that up in the corner here, guys, right there. That is the Hoobie link there. You can just do that. It'll take you to it's like a link tree, and it has everything that that I believe in. I'm adding stuff all the time, so there'll be things that I can add to that. So until next time, stay rooted in the light and rewire for the return. This collective activation begins with every individual alignment. And this is my Archaloo. And then we got, she's laying down and I don't want to wake her up, but this is Dixie. She's a sweet girl. Hi, girl. And we're just chilling over here and having we're weenie. I got two weenies with me, right? My little dachshund friends. She's a cutie patootie. Right, baby? You're so good. You're such a good girl. So yeah. That's it. It's a wrap.
As time goes on, our bodies begin to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy levels decline, sleep patterns shift, and recovery slows. But our bodies are masterpieces of design, holding the potential to bounce back better than ever. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and regenerative science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHK-Cu, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, which requires external light sources, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality, enhancing the body's flow of natural energy. For improvements in strength, stamina, performance, and overall health and well-being, with the simplicity of an affordable, non-invasive, non-transdermal patch. As we age, levels of these life-enhancing elements, which are associated with wellness and longevity, begin to decline. LifeWave invested 10 years into stem cell research, which resulted in over 70 patents. X39 was born to bring to the public a product that can support wellness in an entirely new way, supporting the production of younger, healthier cells with wearable light technology. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. Harness your body's natural potential to maintain youthful energy and vitality, because life comes at you fast, but it doesn't have to pass you by. Live long, live well, live young. Be the light with LifeWave X39. LifeWave.
If you're interested, that's another thing. If you're interested in coming on to the Harness the Shift podcast and sharing your journey and your experience in this awakening, I'm cozy today because it's chilly, it's fall and I got the heating pad on. And so, if you want to come on the show, on the pod to talk about your experience, your gifts, I read energy. I feel it. I read it. So I know a lot of people out there, there's lots of gifts. So, come on and share it. And when you come and share your wisdom, you're being the teacher, and then we can be the students. So, and apply it to our lives if need be. So until then, until next time, take care of yourselves and harness the shift. That's a wrap, folks. Thanks so much for listening to Harness the Shift. if today's message resonated with you, please share it with someone who's also ready to rise and remember who they are. You can find all links, sessions, socials, information about X39 at my Hoobi link, which is hoo.be/harness the shift with Jay. And until next time, stay grounded, keep your heart steady, and your light strong. Take care.